As you know,
We're
Wow.
live. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to KritzKast. We have some more Highlander for you tonight. It is a different league, but it is still more 9v9 action. And it is UGC Platinum. We have the lower bracket finals for you today. Both of these teams getting knocked out during the course of the playoffs. However, they have one final chance to try and fight their way back and reach that grand final where Failure Esports are waiting for them. In one corner, we have TC Frosties, essentially a mixed team, but a team that has played in ETF2 before. And we see some big names on this roster. Meanwhile, we have Gimme opponent on the other side, which again, bit of a mixed team, but its roots lie squarely in the Prem team Envision. So I'm envisioning some high quality action tonight as we have a best of 3. Whichever team wins 2 maps goes forward to play the grand final next Monday. I am CeeJaey. Joining me today is the one and only Domaytoe with Wiethoofd on the camera and production. Domaytoe, how you doing, dude?
Good evening. I think this Envision quote was my summoning. I'm here. I'm happy to cast. I'm hyped for games for UGC Platinum, as you are saying. Like on product again as well. Like it's always product. I love that. But I'm doing good, man. CeeJaey, how are you? Envisioning currently the status quo of the game. What team do you favor? Before we actually have enough players to make proper judgments.
Now, you see, if you were to ask me about any ETF12 game, the Highlander nerd in me would be summoned. It would come out, and I will tell you their roster, their past results, their big star players. I'll tell you everything. You know, I've got that intel. You know, but when it comes to UGC, a lot of these teams, like I said earlier, are kind of mixed teams. These aren't really official ETF12 teams. They don't really scrim. They just sort of, UGC is in Europe that kind of second tier league behind ETF12, but it is a league that people like to play, and when it gets to this stage, they do like to win. So it'll be interesting to see the lineups that we have today. I have seen some TC Frosties games. I actually got asked to merc for them the other day, and then when I turned up, they were like, "Nah, we've got enough players," and I left. So that's a little Bible thump in chat, if you will, for my denial of playing on Monday. But they have got some players. I do know Cloudy plays for them, included Middle, who are all Prem players for Failure Esports. So, they've got the pedigree. Whereas Gimme opponent, like I said, Envision, I played against them in ETF2L last week, and they have some good players. So I do think it's going to be close. I have no idea who picked what map. So it'll be really interesting. I think it's just going to come down to who's had chance to warm up their DM, and whichever team's got a little bit more synergy with each other.
Okay, you've officially given away your opportunity now to pick the superiority team, because now you have to pick the other one. I'm going with TC Frosties. And you know why? Because the first team after, like, back in the day when I started and was like watching was TC Crash, so that's that.
And I played for TC Crash as well in UGC a couple of seasons back in the day, long time ago now.
Because I'm really happy like that TC teams are like, I mean, maybe not the old school players, even though there is a TC Express team or something with like old school players a bit again. That's also good to see, but just have the TC teams back in the league again, because they've always been there a bit, maybe not on the top constantly, even though they had like their shinings, but they're just always around, and I like that, like consistency.
Yeah, it's always been nice to have a community, consistently in the TF2 scene, and TC has been one of those. They had TC, I think it was TC Crash, and then they had TC Crush, which was kind of their UGC version of the team, and the Express team, I think, was an amalgamation of Crash and one of the other TC squads, which they put together. Storm, that's right. Yes. So
I know
TC
that
Frosties,
because. Sorry, but we had like this when I start with Dr. Matt, just shout out to this, because we had this big rivalry with TC Storm over the course of, I think, 3 seasons or 2 seasons, and then like TC Frosties died, and then they and Crash, and they merged together. But sorry to cut you off, just wanted to say that.
Yeah, no, and it's good. Yeah, and like you said, it's nice to have some of their players repping in both of their leagues. So we got Crash back in, Express back in the ETF12 scene, and we've got TC Frosties of some sort. So we're just kind of waiting on the rosters. We're giving a bit of a kind of history on the two teams there, but we can talk about how they've been faring in the league so far. So in the regular season, you play 8 games. You go through 8 games, you play a different map each week, and by the end of that regular season, the top 8 teams in the division, this is of course the highest division, Platinum, the top 8 teams go into the playoff stage, and then it's basically seeded from there. So the team that finished first plays against the team that finished 8th, etc., etc. And we did see Gimme opponent. They finished 2nd in the regular season. They were just behind Failure Esports, whereas Colonslash Frosties, TC Frosties, they were the 4th highest seeds. So, arguably they had the hardest time. They had to play against, a team that was quite closely ranked next to them. Gimme opponent have had a kind of a decent time of it. They knocked out Kitty in the first round of the playoffs. In the quarterfinals, or the second round, I guess I should say, they knocked out Zenon, another kind of established team that's been around for a while now in both ETF2L and UGC. They did play in the upper bracket semi-finals, or upper bracket finals, I believe, against Failure Esports. They did lose that 2-0 on Monday. That was Monday the 20th. That was 3 days ago, as you can see on the bracket. So they got knocked down most recently to the lower bracket. TC Frosties, on the other hand, like I said, had a harder side of it, having only finished 4th in the regular season. They got knocked down to the lower bracket after that first round. They lost 2-1 to the Art of Throwing, and they ended up having to play against Doctors of Mediocrity, which they won in the first round of the lower bracket. Second round of the lower bracket, they came up against Zenon, who, of course, just got knocked out by Gimme opponent. They won that 2-0. And most recently, on Monday, they played against Kitty, and they won that 2-1 to book their place in this lower bracket final, Domaytoe. And you've kind of, looking at that, they're kind of the underdogs. They're kind of the team that's had to battle it through, whereas Gimme opponent's been the more solid team so far this season. So what makes you think Frosties are going to be the favourites here today?
You mean Gimme opponents were more like Gimme the easier road to the semifinals? To be quite fair, like this is always this gamble, with this kind of structure. Like not gamble, but in essence, sometimes you just end up having a bit of the harder fixtures in the end. But now they are like both in the same route basically. Like now they are like they ended up in the same game and now battling it out. But I can see your point. Like this is always, as I was saying, with the structure that you have. I'm pretty sure that TC had it a bit harder, maybe. But then again, you say mixed teams and stuff. But if you have like harder structures, maybe this also has a bit of an impact on the morale and everything, and maybe then you take it a bit more like serious, if I can put it like that, because you have like a bit closer games maybe and have to try a bit harder, even though that's like I don't think some teams have to maybe try harder. It's just different kind of competitions, like it's also hard to say what team is really better because each team excels in different kind of scenarios. But yeah, it's a fair point to make probably that Frosties are a bit of the underdogs that had to work a bit harder, but maybe this is what also causes an upset because of the things I just said.
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think when it gets to this sort of situation where basically all the teams here are going to get medals, like Failure Esports, the worst that they can do is finish 2nd now. And these two teams, they're going to at least finish 3rd. So whoever loses here today will get the 3rd place medal for UGC Platinum Season 23. And whoever wins gets a chance for that 1st place medal or the 2nd place medal, depending on who wins on Monday. But we'll come to that when it gets to it. But yeah, I do think, in the early stages, during the regular season, it's just like, let's turn up and, see what happens. You get to the playoffs, let's maybe try a little bit harder. But when you're getting here and you think, actually, we could get to the final. We could win. We could do something big with this. I think that's when people maybe put their put their try hard hats on a little bit. Just maybe just see what they can do. When there's something on the line. We do see the enemy team here, Gimme opponent, joining the server, and again, there's some names there that people will probably recognize from previously casted games. We'll just wait for everyone to join, actually. But we're gonna talk about the maps here, and we've got 3 maps here today potentially. First one is product. Tell me how much you love product, Domaytoe. Tell me.
I quite enjoy it actually. Surprisingly enough. It's always product. Just summed up before I go into essays again. It's just literally because you have it's such a fast-paced map that kinda negates sometimes the slow, kind of slower play style of Highlander. I mean, of course, you can play fast all of the maps, but it's a bit easier on this map, I would say. And you also have a lot of win conditions. I mean, you have these on other maps too, but I think here they get more apparent, basically, because, as I'm always saying, you can win by your flank destroying everything. You can win by getting your flank in the Ubers. You can win by pick classes, which is very, very unusual in the Highlander game mode. And you can also win with big combo fights and stuff like that, or just, that's what I want to say. I mean, you can play all of the maps basically like this. Like, there are always different win conditions, but it's a bit more packed in this map, I feel, and it's a bit quicker also because of the distance to travel and of the time.
Yeah, and it is kind of, we do have 3 different maps for you today potentially. It's a best of 3, so if a team wins 2, then you're only going to see the first 2. But this is a King of the Hill map, and we did see TC Frosties actually lose King of the Hill on Monday against Kitty. So they did lose that map there. So maybe a bit of a foreboding for this map. Is King of the Hill a weakness for them? Who knows? We shall see. But
did they gain to the do you know? I know Steel is second map on this best of 3, right? Because I wonder who picked it then. If someone played Russians on Steel before, I'm just pointing that out. Because you just mentioned Kitties.
Yeah, I'm not sure actually. I mean, maybe I think Steel is one of those maps, especially considering these 2 teams are more or less mixed teams. Maybe the team that feels more comfortable, maybe they've played against the Russians on Steel and they're feeling confident with their strats. But yes, that is the second map. So we're going to tax defense map for our second map. So we'll definitely be seeing product and Steel at least. But the final decider map, which is the map that will come around if the first 2 maps get won by either side, upward will be the decider, which is of course a payload map. So it's always nice to have a Highlander class with 3 different game modes being played. It's not just 3 payload maps or 3 5CP. It's best of 1 on the attack, defense, and payload maps, because in UGC, in the playoff conditions, each map is played to only 1 half. And in the case of 5CP, that's first to 4. That's not really relevant here. But in King of the Hill, it's first to 3, which is actually mirroring the TF2 rules. So it'll be first to 3 on product. On Steel and on upward, it will be whichever team wins a round. So basically, once we get to those maps, the pressure is definitely on, Domaytoe.
Yeah, I mean, we talked about the issue of maybe UGC rule set before with the games itself, like the maps itself are played best of 1, but we can maybe go into that as the game progresses, as I think we have all the teams on the server. I mean, the 2 teams with all the players currently. And I think we can try to make a roster run on at least for one of the teams, I think. I'm not sure if they picked the right teams, but I think it's I tried to do Frosties because I think they have all of their players on the server right now. Yeah, so they actually haven't picked the classes, so I have to guess now. I think it's probably Crayon on Scout. I mean, we know Crayon very well, probably a bit more as a medic for Lopender, but he's been apparent in the last season or so. Like, he's come to Highlander and going to Frag. No, I think Crayon is actually playing Soldier. Oh, yeah, okay.
I do know the Gimme opponent roster. I think actually.
Okay, yeah, go.
I think because
that.
if we wait till they go live, then we should know the TF2 Frosties roster once they start rolling out. But like I said, it's very similar to the Envision roster. So I do believe it's going to be. We got Tommy, who he impressed me during the. I think it was the Nations Cup. I saw him went some insane trick stabs. Tommy27, the legend. He's playing
for Poland,
Spy
wasn't
for
he?
Poland. Yeah. I remember him getting some insane, on steel. His compatriot from Poland, Stinghan, who's the team leader, I believe, is going to be sniping. TimTum, medic, he's got plenty of experience. He's on medic, like I said. I believe it is Barrett on NG. Garden Fungus will be playing Pyro. Now, I think it is Tuja, the Hungarian heavy. I do believe he's going to be playing heavy. I would imagine Tercio is going to be playing Soldier with Yixo on demo. And that would leave Ombra playing Scout. So I think that's their roster. Slightly different to what they use on Envision. I know that Tercio plays Medic for Envision, and Stinghan isn't actually playing for Envision at the moment. But yes, we'll see. But we actually got TC Frosty, so I'm going to quickly do it. We've got Big T on Scout, included middle on Soldier, Noz on Pyro, Crayon on Demo, Moist on Heavy, Porky on NG, Zamperoni on Medic, Cloudy on Sniper, and McNando on Spies. Domaytoe, take me away. What do you see on this mid fight?
Noz is going in on Umbra and kills a scout, and also walks in with a big WM1. Stinghan actually goes down to Cloudy, so that's big opening in the first. Yeah, I think this is actually favoring TC right now, as Garden goes down as well, and TimTum gets bombed by Crane. McNando takes down Tuja, and Middle gets aggressive in Crane as well, take down Ixo in the end. Tommy also gets sticked off, so it's only one up, it's only an engineer with a mini sentry left alive, and this was all opened up by Cloudy taking the first, Cloudy taking the pick onto Stinghan, and Noz just rushing in on concrete and just completely denying any space there, so complete Uber advantage for TC after this very, very comprehensive mid-fight for them.
Yeah, I mean, when you get a big pick like that, just especially a sniper pick, it just means there's no pressure from you on that long range. It allows you to walk across the point with a lot of freedom. We do see some bombs hit Tercio and Yixo are in. Zamperoni does get forced. They do die for it. Stinghan also died there in the background. But it does mean that they've now got an Uber advantage to work with. TimTum building up his Uber at 60% right now. Zamperoni is going to be at a disadvantage, has to be careful. But to be fair, in that situation, they pop, they've still got their medic alive, they've still got their buffs, and most importantly, Domaytoe, they've still got their sniper alive. So they can just kind of force this Uber early, as we see Gimme opponents starting to make their way towards the cliff.
Often, as you pointed out, it's not actually you popping the Uber, that is like they still have to cover so much ground, as we see like Garden gets flashed now. I mean, good demo flash in the end. He goes onto Zamperoni, I think he misses the pipe, gets one pipe, gets sawed though and goes down, and now they actually bled players, and TC will probably not let them cap because they have all of their players up. I think Cloudy actually got a big snipe. Oh no, Tommy's still alive, he's trying to do something on Zamperoni. Jump comes in from Tercio on the cliff, gets gunned down by Moist though, as he also gunned down Tommy before, and now they have a full Uber advantage as well, as Garden also gets taken on. It's only a Pyro pick though. KritzKast is now used by Envision, as the medic also went down in this. But as you were saying, it's not the end of the world. Umbra gets killed by Cloudy. It's Cloudy, stop getting frags. I want to explain. It's not the end of the world if you pop your Uber, because you still have a bit of distance to cover and everything, and when you get forced a bit early, then you have to flash, and this is exactly what happened. I mean, the demo tried to make something out of this, like bad pop in the, not bad pop, but really early pop, but he unfortunately couldn't get Zamperoni, so it's looking really, really good right now for TC.
Yeah, Stinghan keeps getting picked off here by the Spy. It's McNando getting him behind, they're just kind of hassling him. Do you see TimTum just about getting his charge now? And it looks like Yixo's waiting for the crits to be used on him. It does get used. They're launching those stickies over, takes down Cloudy. That was no sniper, but the Uber is going to be used by TC Frosties here. Middle actually kills himself there. Zamperoni's trying to retreat. He's getting spammed, but it doesn't matter. The Uber is enough to take down TimTum and clean up the rest of the players. Big bombing from Tercio. Can he get anything done? He can't. And once again, it does look like Umbra is actually going to capture this point. He's managed to just solo cap that, and that crits was more of a distraction, and well, I mean the entire team died, but is that really worth 11 seconds on the point? Not really. And it just seemed that TC Frosty was in total control there. They barely lost any players, and it took about 2 minutes there for a few players on Gimme Opponent to even get a point, as Noz there just getting really aggressive, takes down Yuxo and TimTum. Just easy frags for the logs there, but pretty comprehensive first round victory there, Domaytoe, and Gimme Opponent look like they need to switch some strats up a bit.
Yeah, like, it's not even these Frosties are that aggressive, they're just denying them from getting aggressive, which is good from their side of the point, as currently Ixo is a bit late, he also gets milked on the left side, so currently no Pix actually presenting himself. Stigan gets pokey though, and Crayon also gets killed by TF2, who finishes him off. Umbra goes down though, Tommy, like, not that big Pix, currently Gone is going on the point, and he guns down the heavy with the overpowered flamethrower, with the overpowered flames. Middle also gets body shot by Stigan, and yeah, you wanted to switch up things for Envision, they need to switch up things, and they did, because now they are winning this mid fight, and Zamperoni got out though, so it's not as comprehensive as before in terms of TC the round before, but yeah, Envision are looking better this round.
Do you think the fact that, you know, TimTum was running crits played into the minds of TC Frosties? Because a lot of their players got very aggressive. I think they wanted to do something about TimTum before he got crits and had something done, but it doesn't matter. As he drops there, McNando comes in from the behind as the spy, just as TimTum ticked over 100% there. But it doesn't matter actually, as Yuxo picks up some frags there, and the rest of the Gimme Opponent are just like, yeah, we're going to frag as well, and we may have just lost our medic, but we're just going to kill all of your players. So it doesn't really matter, and they're still in control of the point here, Domaytoe. So
yeah.
Zamperoni at 100%, but they still actually have to make this push work.
In this kind of scenario, you don't want to be placed. Tommy is on the cliff and he goes for the medic. Oh no, he misses it. This was so close. Zamperoni gets piped after he U-board, so it doesn't really matter. They're just taking the ground right now and getting, like, not really. Big T goes down to Stingen, but they safely got out as Middle also gets gunned down by TF2. But they're taking the point right now. And currently, yeah, Frosties just took the ground with this Uber, but the crits they have a little crits advantage now on the side of Envision, as only 3 up somehow of TC. Tommy also goes for the big pyro pick. Don't think he will get it, but Envision, that's pretty easy recap, because they just let players, like as I was saying before, when you have a dis ad, you just need to pick off players basically, because an Uber without players is not very effective in the end.
Yeah, I mean, they capture the point there, but it didn't really achieve much, as the crits has come out onto Yuxo, but wow, Porky just walks forward, and he's like, I'm an engineer, I don't care, man, I'm just going to shoot your medic down. And that's going to be a med pick for him for the logs. He's still getting aggressive, gets an arrow there from Zamperoni, and is able to just scare away the Gimme Opponent players. TF2 and Yuxo on the retreat here. But I was going to say, Crayon died there earlier on when they captured the point, and he was up down for 15 seconds. Gimme Opponent took advantage of the lack of spam and just walked forward, and they were just able to pick up frag after frag, which gave them that 6-man advantage. And there we go, Stinghan getting a pick there, but Yuxo goes down to McNando. That's really going to slow any pressure, and I don't know if they want to send in some suicides or get something done, because as Stinghan gets sniped there by Cloudy, someone needs to make a move onto Zamperoni, as he's 100% in the bank, and Cloudy on the rock. It's going to be very, very difficult for them to actually get forward onto that point.
Umbra DM'd a mini sentry, but the mini sentry like didn't win in the end, but it scared him away because it made more damage. It's on the crates, it's still doing damage, and TF2, the mini out DM'd a scout in a heavy currently, but it goes down now as Tommy actually gets a step onto middle. This definitely frees up a lot of space, because Demo Man is very important on this map, as Stingen also goes down to McNando's butter knife, so it should be a big opening actually for Gimme Opponent, not Envision, I'm sorry, but Gimme Opponent. Ixo gets early spam on them, and like good spam on Zamperoni and Cloudy. You don't have to kill the sniper, you just have to spam him out, and that's exactly what they're doing. Nos currently flaming a bit behind the point. I also want to point out that Nos is second scoring with points behind his medic right now as he gets picked off. Barrett also gets taken on by Cran, and Ixo went down before. And they're taking a bit longer as Cloudy goes down, so that's definitely their move to go forward. They're actually on the Uber again, so it's early force on Zamperoni. They should... Yeah, and TimTum uses now, they have way better Uber, and they should just push here. As big pick from McNando and TF2 actually.
Yeah, I was kind of questioning there, but Crayon there takes down Umbra. Prokey takes down Yuxo. Getting in some big frags there on Engineer. And Tersio getting pressure onto Zamperoni, but doesn't manage to finish him off. And despite capturing the point there, they've lost 4 players and they're not going to be able to defend it any longer. CC Frosties just walk forward. So Gimme opponent's still in the lead by about 10 seconds, but they're probably going to overtake that right at the moment. But Timtum does still... Oh no, actually, he's on Minigun now. He's changed his Minigun, so he does have about the 10% advantage on Zamperoni. And it'll be interesting to see if they want to use this. Noz is down, so there's not going to be much denial from Frosties without that Pyro class. Corral is quite far forward. He's getting caught out here, but he does manage to survive. But Ombra in behind takes down Cloudy. No sniper. They may want to walk in here, Domaytoe.
Yeah, you could wonderfully see how important Concrete is, because there was nobody on Concrete and they could just push it from the left side because the TC flank was out there, because they had the HP disadvantage. I mean, the pick classes in that did a bit as well to kind of even it out, but you just could see the power of Concrete basically. And currently it's really, really close actually. Both teams also have Uber, and TC Frosties are the first to pop. Garden is denying it really well, and they shouldn't drop Garden here. Yeah, they don't. Last flash in the second. They only popped on the heavy though, I think. The blue medic must have gotten forced somewhere, because they could have gotten aggressive with it maybe instead of flashing the heavy on point. Currently it's a big bomb from Tertiary though. Big bomb actually picks up Big T and Moist Penguin. Umbra also takes down Cloudy, and Nos gets picked off as well, so yeah, Gimme opponent looking very strong here, and they should take this round. It's pretty simple from them actually, as Tommy gets the pick, Crayon also gets taken down, Procky goes down to Garden, and the UGC admin is closing out the kills there as Zamperoni gets kind of humiliation circle there in the end onto Umbra.
Yeah, Zamperoni being like, you know, we lost the round, but I got the kill. It's fine. Moral victory there, but we are on to our third mid-fight now, as it is 1-1, and Crayon there getting aggressive, but getting pushed away there by the Scout. Tertiary with the bomb, but just gets pushed away a little bit. And Yixo is so far the most aggressive, getting some nice spam down onto the enemy, but big jumping from middle, goes in from behind. That's classic middle play there, but he might get finished off. Stinghan though is left alone. Can he actually fight it? And Stinghan's not even in this fight. It's allowing Cloudy kind of free snipes at the moment, and they are picking up frags, and that's, dare I say it, yep, for a millisecond there, Domaytoe, that was a wipe. That was a wipe.
CeeJaey, the classic middle play came from Crayon, because Crayon is on Soldier, so maybe Crayon had a little talk with the middle before, or did middle? Like, I didn't see, but the result is the same. They're holding aggressive now on the cliff. Really strong performance from TC Frosties, and big jump in from X. Oh, okay, then he takes down Zamperoni. Maybe you need to lock off this, but it was a good jump by Ixo, so they should get aggressive here. Cloudy also gets taken down, so they can just work this forward here without any contention from TC. Gran is in position though to jump. He gets absolutely melted there by Garden. Garden also like takes down middle in the end, like with the help of Tuja, but this was just absolutely, yeah, like the Pyro showed why he's the counter to the Soldier, I guess.
I mean, Garden Fungus is repping his own league here. Like, you know, he wants to win the league he is an admin of currently, and that's a nice reflect there to really put his mark on the game so far. And Gimme opponent, despite losing this first round, starting to find a foothold in this map, and probably going to take the lead on the time here. We see some more bombs here. Big jump in. The dispenser goes down. That's something, I guess. But Yixo actually, so many players get cleaned up here. Yixo, Barrett, and Stinghan all down. Those are all real good classes for Denial. Sniper, NG, and Demo, as well as Timtum having to use his Uber to stay alive. So those going to be a nice meaty Uber advantage for Zamperoni. He's just ticking over to 90% right now, so it's at least 75%. Crayon getting into position on the cliff. Tertiary trying to go for a bomb, but he can't really find anything worth his life. And by the time Gimme opponent have got their players here, CC Frosties are already getting across the point. Although they are losing a couple of waves. They've lost 3 before they've used the Uber. Noz is getting away from his Uber. Can he get onto Yixo? He's getting a lot of damage down onto place, but he's not got much support. Does manage to take down Garden Fungus with a Pyro vs Pyro action. He's coming in from behind Tuja. He's going to take those Stinghan. Oh, he was so close to getting a 3k there, but just misses out. But meanwhile, the rest of his team is just kind of just fainted and fallen away by the wayside. Zamperoni did survive Domaytoe, but it doesn't matter because Timtum also survived, and he has an Uber advantage once again.
Yeah, they split up their resources, like in terms of players, a bit unfortunate there. Like Nos really needed to pull a lot. Like he got the Pyro MG on Garden, but yeah, maybe they could have, like, they should have stayed a bit more together on the flank. But currently it's still an Uber advantage for TimTam, and they're getting aggressive here, good force actually, I mean, but also good Uber management from TimTam on Garden and Umbra, really fast classes. Zamperoni gets out, but they get a lot of frags, that's how you want to do it, and as you were saying, even then, if you use your Uber, you are still pretty content because you're almost 2 minutes, it's almost 2 minutes in your favor, and you've used the Uber, but you've just got another like 30 seconds until they do anything to push, and even then they have to cover a lot of distance again, as Crayon tries to initiate the deck. Tommy kills Moist there, and Big T ends up killing Tommy, but then again, they have always gone really good denying here. Cloudy gets taken down by Tertio, and Nos gets gunned down by Tuja, as Middle also gets taken down, so they don't actually get the point. Tertio in behind and gets the frag onto the medic there, as the Mini also gets taken down by Ixo, so big Mini sentry frag, but they didn't even get the point with that, and they also have a complete Uber advantage now to defend the point. Gimme opponents, so looking really strong right now as they're trying to wrap up the round probably.
They have a lot of time on point here, TC Frosties, but Tommy there dominating Cloudy, gets a backstab, gets another backstab onto Moist, and then picks up another one onto Noz, big Tommy 27. And it does look like Gimme opponent here just need to stay on the point and frag. Big jump in from the Soldier. It's going to be MGE middle tertiary there with a nice rocket. Does finish it off, and there we go. Make it 2-1 to Gimme opponent. I just have to say they played really well there. They just kited the Uber, used the Uber, to defend the point. I totally agree with what you said. You know, it's better to use your Uber and, you know, chalk off another 40 seconds off the point. And then when the Uber actually came in, they kited it and they just collapsed on the players who were still too far forward. Big bomb from Tertio coming forward, and actually Moist is going to go down there. So demo down for TC Frosties. It does look like people may have switched classes here. Crayon is now onto Scout, which is what he plays for Failure Esports. So we got the Failure Esports flank going on. Crayon and Middle now on their respective classes. But it does look like that doesn't really matter. 4 alive for TC. The cap is going to go towards Gimme opponent. And remember, if they win this, we're only playing to one half of UGC. If they win this third round, they are going to take this first map. Tertio is still in there, getting some damage down, and just kind of scaring away TC. They are going to walk forward now with their kind of what do I want to say? Not respawns. Their resupply. Their friends. They got friends joining the battle, and they walk forward and they count the point.
In sixes you have teammates, in Highlander you have friends. Oh, big stuff there by Ixo, like completely pipes down Moist. The demo man as Tuja that just guns down here but gets killed in the end, as Frosties just control the ground pretty safely, as Cloudy also gets a pick onto Barrett. Oh, Zamperoni in the air! No, Tertio, other way! Oh, he shot the rocket, he got a 50-50 chance. Tommy also gets taken down, but it was a bit all over the place. Tertio had a really, created a really good opening there, but couldn't finish it up in the end, as the Ubers are still pretty much equal. It's not too big of a difference actually, as Umbra also gets taken down by Cloudy, so Cloudy is getting a bit more influence again. Like before the round, he got focused by Tommy a lot, but Stingen also takes down Nos and included Middle, so 2 players down that actually deny a lot of ground here on their respective classes, as Tertio initiates in onto the combo alone though. I mean it's initiative, but you can take your ground, as currently only Tuja is doing, but they're getting a bit of frags. Maybe they could have been a bit more aggressive, but Tertio now gets taken down, so only one flank to worry about as TC pop the Uber.
There was a lot of liquids being exchanged on that point there. There was milk, there was urine, it was thrown all over the place, and TC Frosties were pretty much drenched. But it wasn't advantage wasn't taken there by Gimme opponent, but they are using their Uber now, which they have a big advantage of. Yixo's going to jump in on Zamperoni. Can he land the bomb? He lands one. Can he land the second one? Zamperoni survives. Yixo goes down to Middle, who is tagged to ground. And that Uber advantage has been wasted. TimTam so weak.
No.
And he actually hits it.
What? 6 players. Oh, was it Crayon?
I've been told that Middle is Crayon and Crayon is Middle.
Yeah, okay, because I was because I have this fake nick config, so I was confused, so it maybe didn't update, but okay, so I'm in the clear, and you have to as Garden gets taken down by Pogi. Pogi's on a 4K as an engineer. Currently it's looking really good for Frosties. They can even deny this point. Tuja is really weak, goes down in the end, and they're just making them lead with their players here right now. Good jump there from the Red Soldier Crayon onto Stingen, but Stingen got a nice arrow there, so they actually keep their number advantage. Tommy actually got an insane frag onto Big T, I think. Like, who needs backs? You can just literally just backstep from any angle if you're good. But Moist is currently sticking off the point as Gimme opponent, just cap it.
Yeah, so I mean, they lost 4 players there. It doesn't always have to be about the Uber exchanges. If you get enough frags, then you can contest. And actually, 2 players down for Gimme opponent, but they're 2 key classes. Yixo and Stingen, the demo and the sniper are down, and those 2 classes are really, really good at denying the point. Uber is used here onto middle. Scout is going to rush forward, try to get some frags, but TF2 is running away. So is Timtum, and Garden Fungus is just there just to protect, just in case. Timtum's at 96%. He's got to try and get this Uber. He's going to get it so close. Almost there, got jumped by the soldier and just dodges it. The point is going to go down to TC Frosties, but they are going to use this Uber here. Give me an opponent. They're going to get forward. But no, TC are wise to the antics by now. They've kited it really far away. They have lost a few players because of it, but they are going to lose the point. But 2 minutes and 10 seconds. But Cloudy is going to get his team back into the advantage here. They takes down Timtum with the headshot. Uber advantage for Zamperoni, 70% for him. Timtum in the respawn queue for another 2 seconds. And TC Frosties just need to cap now, and they're going to level this map up.
I love how CeeJaey did the right thing there. Maybe like if you only need one. Oh, Claudia also gets taken now by Tommy. Tommy is focusing him again, so they have a slight window here to make this work. They can get a bit of aggression again. The problem here now is you have to actually play aggressive, but also don't plead players if you're that far behind in the time stakes, because you can't play around the Uber advantage anymore, which is what Gimme opponent is doing. Like, you want to take the initiative to them, you don't want to be in this receiving position as Tommy gets Zamperoni and Cloudy. So you see, like, this aggression works. It's when you're like back, it's like in poker, you just have to go in the end. If you're down with your Jotaras, you just have to play aggressive, because you don't want the enemy to initiate on you, but rather you want to decide what fights you will take, even though if you're behind in the Uber stakes. And that's what I was saying in the beginning. You have different kind of advantages you can just use to your advantage, basically, and you just want to take the fights as Cloudy gets taken on by Stingen. So they're looking really good here right now.
Yeah, I mean, both medics died there, but because of the respawn differences, but we see a big bomb here from the soldier. Stingen is actually going to survive, though, and it does look like TC Frosties are just melting away. The only person left alive is Zamperoni, and he's managed to stay alive, which is the only boon out of this this entire exchange. His team has probably got one more push before it all goes wrong. Timtum did die at the same time as Zamperoni earlier on. He got domed by Cloudy just before Tommy got that nice double backstab, but because of the respawn queues, he was going to be at a disadvantage. But it doesn't matter if your team just frags everyone. If you haven't got anyone to heal, you can't build Uber. Tercio getting really aggressive here, but he's going to get pistoled down by Proki, and TF2 is really far forward on the rock. Zamperoni is actually going to get his charge pretty quickly, but he gets taken down. No! Was he peed on? Yixo with the pipes. Medic down at 98%. Timtum is at 90%. He gets his Uber. He's going to use it. There's 2 players left alive for TC Frosties. Cloudy is there. Going to get a snipe. He's going to get chased down by Yixo. And as soon as that red ticks off the clock there, Domaytoe, 3-1, despite going 1-0 down, they have come back and won this 3-1. Gimme opponent take the first map.
I'm a bit saddened that it's not like close, like we didn't get the maximum amount of rounds out, but like really well played by Gimme opponent. I just absolutely loved how they played this. As I was saying, you want to take your fights, and they like did this. You want to be aggressive and you want to pick off frags, but you also don't want to bleed players. And how you do that is you take your fights like really smartly and try to play around the Uber as much as you can. And they definitely did this. I mean, they got 2 minutes 30 after TC literally only had to cap once, and they nailed it.
Yeah, I mean, it just seemed that they realized what they were doing wrong, and TC Frosty started playing a little bit more passive, maybe, just kind of wary of the crits when they switched things up. But it was a total change there. We do have the logs available now, and we see 2 players there top fragging 26 kills each. That is Ombra on Scout and TF2 on the Heavy. TF2 going 26 kills for 9 deaths. A massive KAD of 4.3 there, doing really well for his team. The 2 spies doing very well themselves, 21 kills apiece, same as Noz there on the Pyro. I mean, I think there's 2 things I really want to point out there. The snipers, they're very good. I mean, we know how good Cloudy is. We know, Stingen's also a very good sniper. they didn't excel. Stinger went 20 for 19. Cloudy went 15 for 20. I just think the spies were just on their case non-stop. You take a look at the spy sniper kills. McNando got 9 sniper kills. Tommy got 8. But also, look at Zamperoni. 3 for 5. He died 5 times, which was less than half of the times of Tim Tom. But his team still lost 3-1. So something was going amiss there, I think, in the exchanges.
You actually spoiled what I wanted to say, because the spies, Razorback Ben clearly having impact. I mean, you can also die to, other things, like a spy could have killed you before as well with the ambient and everything, but still, like, both spies actually, like, focusing the snipers really, really good, as you were saying. Like, both snipers very, very capable, but you can already see when Cloudy is a bit down there, then you can see how much pressure he was put on. And this was, in the end, probably what was winning, as well as, Gimme Opponent winning the map, as well as the last round, as we were just talking about. I wouldn't be surprised if that's actually where this kill difference from how much is that? Oh no, now I have to count on stream. That's bad. The 19 kill difference. I wouldn't be surprised if that was the last round as well. Like what Gimme Opponents got more frags than TC. So yeah, basically I think before it was quite even, but the last round, and also the sniper denial, as you said. But good locks actually from both teams. I mean, I think we're pretty much done again, as we're hiding locks with these numbers. I always say numbers don't mean a lot, but in this case, they actually mean a bit more than usual. So it's a fair point.
I do think the fact that TC, when they used their Ubers, when they were getting aggressive, they more often than not were able to capture the point off of the back of it. However, they lost a lot of players in the process. And if you lose a lot of players, once you capture that point, your respawn queue is longer, and it makes it harder for you to defend that point that you've just captured. And after the second round, it just seemed that Gimme Opponent just seemed a little bit more wiser to it and just thought, okay, we're just going to back up here, pick up some frags, and then re-push afterwards. There is the kill difference you talked about there, but the damage difference, there's an 11,000 damage difference between the two teams. Gimme Opponent getting 11,000 more damage. When you take a look at the top damages in the server, 4 of the top 5 were on Gimme Opponent. The only person who managed to crack that from TC Frosties was in fact McNando, the spy. So, there's question marks there of, what's going on. Are people, being in Ubers when they're not supposed to be or something like that? You can kind of judge it all the way you want. Noz there actually was the 3rd highest damager for TC Frosties on Pyro, getting nearly 300 DPM. So doing pretty well there. But this is an entirely different map now. This is chalk and cheese, apples and oranges. This is CP Steel. You attack, you defend, and there's chance for cheesy strats. It is best of 1 because this is UGC playoffs. We only play it to 1/2. So unless the teams agree otherwise, we will only be seeing 1 attack defense phase on this map. So I do have to say though, Domaytoe, TC Frosties played against Gimme Opponent in the regular season, of course, and on that they played Upward, and on Upward, Gimme Opponent won 2-1. So TC Frosties not only have to win this map, best of 1, they also have to play the map that they lost to these opponents in the regular season.
Do you know
if they win?
I said we will talk about this nice fixture of UGC playoffs as the game progresses. You just said they played 2-1. Did you know who takes the first take the first round? Because even with a 2-1, you can still take the first map, and then after this rule set, you would have won. But yeah, like I can see your point though. I just wanted to get a reminiscent of what we said in the beginning. But in the end, as you were saying, it's basically maybe a bit harder, but I don't think they faced on Steel. And as you were saying, here on this map, to quote a bit, it's about attack, but it's also about protect. So, in essence, in essence, I'm. When I'm watching first, I'm getting now really unprofessional. The roof jump, the roof jump on A. How incredibly obnoxious that was before the spy speed buff. I can't even explain how many nights, not how many nights, but always these 20 minutes before the game. This was nothing back in the day because you just practiced this jump all over because you literally hit the magic pixel, and all the spies back in the day were doing this because there was this big frag movie of
Highlander challenge, maybe.
with the spy hiding in the corner with I don't know even what the teams were anymore, but this was but I think they now teams have learned though after all these seasons, and now we will just see what team. I don't actually think TC will do the drop-down fake. I mean, we have to talk about this sooner or later anyway. I think maybe Gimme opponent are a bit more opposed to maybe doing that. That's just judging me from seeing the teams play, but it's a very popular strategy back, not even back in the day, but even nowadays. Nowadays, even more than back in the day. The drop-down strategy where you just fake E.
Yeah, I mean, it does kind of raise the questions of do TC Frosties feel under pressure that they want to go for a really ballsy strat. People have the different pushes, if people who don't really understand Steel, I guess we can explain. You go from A to E. You need to capture E. Once you've captured E, that is game over. You can capture E at any point during the game. You can capture it from, as soon as that first honk goes off and the doors open. However, it's very difficult for you to actually get access to E from that stage. The more points you cap, the more opportunities open for you. So once you've captured A, your respawn times are faster, the enemy's respawn times are slower. And it gets to a point where when you've captured the C point, there's a lot of bridges that open, a lot of doorways that open. Your respawn times are instantaneous when you're on the attacking team. Meanwhile, the defending team have respawn times anywhere between 20 and 25 seconds, which can be absolutely crucial if you get kills at the right time. So teams often wager, do we go for, a couple of points and then go straight for E, or do we capture all of the points as quickly as possible? There's lots of different strategies, and there is the cheesy push, which, maybe popularized by the Russian teams, such as the national teams of Russia, Ukraine, the TF2 team, UGC teams like like Wasp and Unpoppable used to be very good at steal and be very good at taking control of that E point straight after capturing A. So we'll see how it goes, but I do wonder what TC are going to be doing. It does look like TC are going to be attacking first on the blue, with Gimme opponent defending on the red. So as we ready up, we'll have to see how this plays out, Domaytoe. But do you have any predictions? Do you think TC Frosties are going to claw their way out? They were your prediction at the start. They were your chosen team. Do you think they're going to have it in them to win Steel here?
That's not even a question. When I pick a team, then they have to have it in them. That's not even like you don't question that. They will win this. This is the correct attitude. But as you were saying, as a reminiscent to Boston, stuff like that, like big Russian teams back in the day and even today, it's all about also area denial. When you have your spam classes just denying, because you said that, I was reminded of Shadowburn, who was really good at doing that. And I think maybe that Crayon is probably pretty here, like the flank is really important on these kind of maps, and this might play into the favor of TC, even though I have to say I think TC would have been a bit more, as you were saying, you don't really expect from them, as we are getting the gates open soon, but you probably not that likely to do the drop-down strategy, so it would have maybe been better for them to be on defense first, but that's what you have to deal with, as Big T actually goes down, Stingin getting the entry frag, as Tertiary also guns down. Moist is not just tries to make something work, but a sentry gun is sadly still overpowered over Pyro, so maybe Pyro needs a buff, but in the end, Mignano is getting its way, but basically it's that time until A really gets capped, even though you have these suicides going in on B, and you can actually make something happen, but Mignano goes down, so nothing is happening currently for TC, only Ace getting capped right now.
Yeah, Stingan got picked off there by Cloudy, winning that first instance of the sniper duel, but it does mean that he's had time to respawn now, and we do see people spreading out here. We actually do see a bit of pressure onto the White Room. Yeah, the lobby in between A and E, and it does look like TC Frosties are going for this E push. Tuja does get taken down there by McNando, and we do see the BC connector is being controlled by TC Frosties, and I think we have a pause here. We do, just before we see some sort of exchange between the two teams. We see Zamperoni and Big T there, covered in P. We see Yixo and Garden Fungus staring, probably hungry at a P covered heavy. TCP. TC up'd. But you take a look at the point, and Crayon has almost half the point capped.
Um,
Oh, right, yeah. So, yeah, the point isn't nearly capped. I'm just,
no, I think on the HUD it's getting capped as the pause progresses. So maybe that's what
But
the
in
pause is
reality-
about. No, maybe that's because the pause was made. Now they are capping this in 1 minute, while the opposing team can't do anything about it.
It's a pause strat. Just pause and then.
By the way,
just let the cap.
Look at the stickies. I love this. Like there are two stickies literally on the opposing sides. They're flying towards each other, but there are already stickies on the exit sign. So maybe that is the exit for the red team when they walk through this and they all get killed. Maybe that is their keyword. But yeah, I think TC did this really well. I didn't see Tommy on A, but he was in lobby, so he actually caught them. But maybe a bit. I wouldn't say too late, but you're really fast. Maybe they should have spent more resources on E. But then again, maybe Gimme opponent weren't expecting TC to do this push. But yeah, like currently, this is the big Uber exchange that decides the fate of this map. I feel like either that or like the follow-up aggression. But this kind of scenario decides now how fast this map will go down, basically.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, if TC Frosties win this exchange, then they essentially destroy the combo of Gimme opponent, and then they can control this area here. They can control this BC connector, allow their team to just stand on the point and capture it. And, if they capture the E point very quickly, that sets a very, very fast time to be beaten. However, if Gimme opponent do have the better of the Uber exchange here and they deny the point being capped, it's basically back to square one for TC, and that can kind of be hard when you've put a lot of time and resources into trying to go for the AE push and it doesn't work, and you've not really got any pressure. We do see pressure coming in. Actually, no, we don't see anything on B. I'm making it up. We see Magnando on B. He's just taken the teleporter, but yeah, it's kind of. They've put everything, they put all their eggs into one basket here. They're all relying on this AE push to work. So if it doesn't work for them, it's going to be quite laborious to actually have to go back all the way around to B and try again, or maybe try again for an AE push. Apparently, the issue for the pause, or the reason for the pause, is that Barrett timed out. Barrett is the engineer on the defensive side, so hopefully that doesn't cause too much of an issue, because at level 3 on B is quite important. When you're defending, having an engineer with that big sentry gun mounted up somewhere, if that just dies, because I had that issue during my official recently, where our engineer timed out on upward last, and as soon as you time out from the server, your sentry disappears with you. So hopefully there's no issues with that. But yes, we'll have to see. I'm excited to see. I think the P is going to play a big factor here. I mean, if Yixo can get a lot of damage here onto the heavy and force the Uber early, that will counteract the fact that TuJa is still dead. But there we go, we are on pause. And there we go, Big T goes down.
Oh yeah, Big T.
And the Ubers are exchanged here. Lots of flashing from both teams. Naz is getting a majority of the Uber, and they're going to have to back off to C here. Crayon is denied capturing the E point. Sentry gun from Barrett does go down anyway. Got sapped there by Magnando. Zamperoni is quite weak, has to back off underneath to go for the help back, and Noz is getting really aggressive, and Cloudy is on a 3k, takes on a few players there, just to get a bit of an opening as Moist is walking in onto B, gets some lots of pressure down. TuJa is going to go down pretty much straight away after respawning. It's really hard to see what is going on, but there is simultaneous capping going on B on E at Domaytoe.
Yeah, as you were saying, I won not maybe the P because Zamperoni and the heavy was P done, but the problem was the heavy instantly got taken on. It was so insanely quick how Big T went down. I think that was the biggest issue. But right now, as you were saying, they get half of the cap on B, and since they don't have a sentry because Barrett timed out and got stabbed before by Magnando, so literally a server destroying pick as the Uber exchange comes in from TimTom. They don't get a lot to crowd here though. Ixo will probably get picked off. He tries something on Zamperoni, but he's completely alone there. Zamperoni is dodging. They are meeting. He goes down. Both medics actually get taken down, and I think actually TC will be very, very happy with it, as only 3 players up, and they actually got the second point as big heavy MG. No, Big T holds a bit back as TuJa gets out. Pyro though, Garden gets out as well, but yeah. Okay, so right now, this is where the pause happened. So it wasn't exactly after the push, but Mignando killed Barrett in the push, so it was basically the NG down, so that enabled TC to take B quite comprehensively, and right now they're literally just getting a lot of pressure. Moisture jumps in. I'm not sure if this is the correct decision. Gets the trade onto Ixo, but I guess it's better for the offending team right now, as Tertio controls the area, but will probably get picked out. Yeah, he gets killed by middle, and Tuja is still making a bit of... Mignando gets the big stab onto Timtam, and this will basically just give the health advantage to TC, as they are looking really good right now in capping C.
Oh, we do see a backstab though. Tommy says to Mignando, anything you can do, I can do exactly the same. Takes down Zamperoni. So no medic for the attacking team at the moment. We're just waiting for Timtum to respawn, so no heals on the field for the time being, but C was capped there by TC Frosties. Can't exactly see the time because broken HUD for me at the for the time being. But I can say that it's been a pretty decent time so far, and TC already flooding in onto the E point. They're not going for the E cap though, they're heading towards the white room, and they may be trying to make a play onto D as Ombre gets taken down by Noz. There's a lot of pressure, he gets gunned down by Tuja, who is doing a lot here. Yixo is going to take down Big T. Zamperoni is kind of alone, he's got Cloudy for company, but you want a little bit more protection than just a sniper. But ×3 on the point, on the E point. Any frag you get now as the attacking team is a worthy trade. Stinghan is trying to do something from the spawn, but it's really, really hard as Tommy gets Zamperoni again. Timtum goes down to Noz. The medics cannot survive here for the time. Like, they're just getting fragged left, right, and center, Domaytoe. And TCs seem to have been held back for the time being.
Yeah, they have this time window now because the red team is put on a 20-second respawn. I was a bit critical maybe on the flank. I mean, they were capping, but in this transition area you might want to get the frags because you have this huge spawn advantage as Tommy actually takes down Big T, but it's really looking good for TC right now. They literally just have to focus one spawn wave now and kill one spawn wave. Tuja is getting a lot of ground here with Timtam, but if they kill those two they are looking in really good shape, but Heavy doesn't really have the deny from this area anyway, and Timtam now gets flanked by a Pyro, and wow, Ixo also gets taken down, so TC are looking to wrap this up. This is basically impossible now for Gimme opponent. They had this one little push, they probably would have needed to wait a bit longer, but then again the TC players realized this very early and again taking the fight to the opposing team. Mignano also gets the pick onto Tertio, Tommy gets gunned down by Nos, and Umbra gets taken down by Moist. And time of 5 minutes and 12, that's pretty fast time, and they will definitely be very happy with that. TC, that is.
Yeah, 5 minutes and 11 seconds, that's it's not super fast. It's kind of, you know, a fast-ish time, but I think Gimme opponent will say, oh hey, after the first point there, that was extremely hectic, and to get 5 minutes is probably not that bad. They just need to not fail too many pushes and they'll be alright. TC, I think, likewise, are going to be happy with themselves. They're going to be like, okay, so our AE push didn't go to plan, however, we managed to kind of roll that into going B, C, D, E. And in the end, they got a fairly decent time. So it's one of those situations where the times in between being good and not bad, you know, and both teams are going to be satisfied that they can actually get a victory out of this. So it's all going to depend on how Gimme opponent. Are they going to go for, you know, the alphabet A, B, C, D, E, or they're just going to go straight for an AE push? They're going to go for the drop down cheese.
Yeah, the vowel push.
Yeah, I mean,
skip the vowels. Yeah, currently, yeah, Ixo is making space here on B already. Maybe they can sync up. If they can sync up it a bit better, Ixo actually takes down Nos, so no cheeky. Oh no, actually no denial because he's on the defending team, so that's a big pick on the Pyro. I think he was on A though. But currently, pretty fast cap from A there for Gimme opponent, and Timtum is already on A there doing this as well. But let's see, Stinghan goes and drop down, probably tries for the hero shot. I'm betting he does. Yeah, he just literally
big
drops
snipe
down
there from Cloudy, takes down Yixo, so no demo for that push. That's going to totally stunt Gimme opponent from pushing, and Moist, who went to rotate there, actually just looks like he's calling the rest of his team to rotate round to the white room and just say, hey, they're going to try for an E point push here, we need some help. But with no denial there from their demo, Yixo respawn now is just joining his team. Until he's back into the fight, it's going to be very hard for Gimme opponent to deny this spam coming out from TC.
Yeah, TC are looking really comfortable. They even have their sentry though, it's really, really hard for them. And as you were saying, they're literally putting all of their eggs into the basket, I think. I also already got one idiom incorrectly when I cast with you, but I think this time it was correct. But currently they're doing the drop-down push. Timtom uses quite early there on Ixo, but he had to because there was a pyro close, really good plate from TC, and they're probably going to kill Tuja as well and drop down as Barret also gets stabbed, and McDonough gets a few frags on the buildings as Crayon gets taken on by Stinghan and Nos gets sticked off by the big stickies of Ixo. But currently actually TC players are getting picked off and there's still cap time on E, so they have to rotate quite quickly here.
Yeah, Cloudy there trying to stay in for the hero shot, but he's getting spammed by Garden Fungus with I think it's a Scorch shot, just denying him from able to go for that shot. And he's going to get taken down there. And that's going to be quite big. Nos is also down, the Pyro, so no Pyro, no Sniper. It's going to allow a lot of space. We see simultaneous capping going on. Umbra is on E. He's got it down to about half a cap. B is surely going to be finished off as well. And Gimme opponent us deciding to start to walk forward here. 4 players left up for TC. No NG up, no Sniper up. Pyro is going to spawn very, very soon, but the flank is also dead. And they're allowed to just spread their resources around and just get caps all over the place. 2 minutes and 50 seconds, Domaytoe. This is looking pretty good for the moment, but TC are not out of this by any stretch.
Yeah, the important thing now is not the gamble anymore for the other parts. As Cloudy actually gets taken on by Tommy and also kills Nos, so that's pretty big picks. TC really, in this position, I'm completely fine with giving up C and maybe even D if like all this time on E ticks down, because they can't actually defend the other points except E very well anymore, because big pick actually by McDonough taking down Barret and the sentry gun, as well as Stinghan also gets taken down. Like on TC I'm really happy with giving up like C if E just completely ticks down again, as Tershi also gets killed by a combination Cloudy in middle there. But right now TC are actually stabilizing again.
Yeah, I mean 2 minutes, they still need to, you know, Gimme opponent are doing well, but they still need to capture E point. And actually TC have got Uber in the bank, they got their players into nice positions. Proki gets sniped there, he had a mini sentry watching the point, but the rest of their players are alive and well and kind of defending. But Timtom gets backstabbed by McNando. There is no Uber for the attacking team now, and TC are going to be pretty happy with that. They're going to spend a lot of time just kind of sitting back and just baiting players onto the point. Cloudy gets a couple of kills there, a couple of important kills, but Nos is going to get aggressive and take down Yixo as well. And Gimme opponent have 1 minute and 30 seconds. They need to get them to the point soon. It takes 40 at least for that final cap to go down. Timtom gets taken down again. Nos getting so aggressive, gets a 2k, and this is all going wrong. But TC are starting to bleed players. They're 3 alive, Domaytoe. How the hell did that happen?
They basically get wrapped around. They still have time to do this. They literally just need to regroup, as their Crayon is doing a lot here, spamming. Ixo will probably get picked off this way. He's so weak, and Umbra goes down, and yeah, Crayon. Like, this is all Crayon right now. He's doing so much, and now the respawns actually come in. They only need like one proper push again to secure all this area. And I also think Garden got tricked before, just want to pick this out, but Moist gets a big pipe onto Tershi, and Tershi gets gunned down in the end. They need to get more picks here, TC. They're probably ending up not in their favor anymore, as they are getting picked off, and this is basically a wrap up right now. This was the key 5 seconds, and this definitely went in the favor of the Gimme opponent team, as they're looking to wrap this up quite easily here.
Yeah, 25 seconds left. TC need to block this, but it doesn't look like they can. And of course, this is a best of 1. Gimme opponent are going to win the second map. CP Steel 1-0. And that means they book their place in the grand final of UGC Platinum on Monday against Failer Esports. And wow, for a moment there, I thought, Gimme opponent, they've got this. And then TC just kind of, it was a combination of Crayon and Cloudy. Like, Crayon was spamming the point, staying alive, and just stopping people from wanting to be on the point. Like, for a moment, Yixo was about 7 HP, just had to back off. And because of the space that he was providing Cloudy was just ringing off a couple of headshots. And I thought, if they can keep doing this until their respawns arrive, when those respawns get aggressive, they're just going to take the point, and they can actually hold this for the remaining seconds. But in the end, the respawns for Gimme opponent just got there a bit quicker and got into position a bit faster, and that meant they were able to cap it out. So 2 maps to 0, Domaytoe. Your prediction was TC Frosties. Are you surprised, or are you do you enjoy the game?
I'm not recognizing this score. This is the easiest way. This is right. Officially, your prediction was wrong. Officially, you were wrong, Domaytoe. How does that make you feel? As I was saying, I don't know anything. I don't know. Like it could have, like this map was basically in in both teams' favor in the end. I was actually saying that it favored more TC in the end, but as you were saying, like Cran and Cloudy were there, but the problem was you could literally see the 5 seconds that decided the fate of the map, as a lot of players got picked off. But yeah, in the end, it was Gimme opponents. Like you could maybe see. I think there are more players on Gimme opponent that played together in like in Vision than TC players played together before, and you could actually see that as the game progressed, Gimme opponent got more on the grip. Like the TC team always on both maps actually in the beginning had quite lightning rods, but in the end, Gimme opponents just had like the long-term kind of success. If you get what I mean.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, absolutely. It does make you think that this was probably a map that was more suited to Gimme opponent with that kind of synergy from the other teams in the first place. But we can take a quick look at the logs to see who was the standout players there. Top fragger this time around was Yixo, 13 for 9. Didn't get a single assist that game. Interesting to see that from a demo, actually. But Tommy and Tuja, the two Ts, got 12 frags apiece. Tuja going 12 for 5. Doing very well, keeping himself alive and getting stuff done there, Tuja. And Tommy with some big picks as well. McNando's the highest fragger for TC Frosty, same as Noz actually, both getting 11 kills apiece. But when it's Steel, it's kind of... Logs and stats don't really matter often.
Oh, and that comes from CeeJaey.
I'm just saying, when it's on Steel, you can look at the logs and be like, oh hey, like this dude did well, but it's not often, like you said, you notice the 5 seconds in that match where it decided. Can I
retrospectively have one map taken away from the score account so actually my KD looks better? Because logs don't actually matter. No, I'm going to quote you on that. Logs don't matter. I think that's
logs
what you
don't matter for Steel. Like I mean, I'm being quoted out of context here. But yeah, I mean. It's very similar. Like we see Crayon and Tercia, they're both got 8 and 7 kills, pretty much equal damage, but doesn't really highlight the fact that Crayon did a really good solo play there right at the end that almost kept his team in it. But yeah,
as you said, by the way, as you said, like Ixo and Tuja, I wouldn't have even cared if they got literally no frags at all, even though that's a bit over exaggerated. But they on product as well, like the combo, this is of Gimme opponent, they created so much space, and literally this is the top 3 players. I mean, the rest did pretty well as well, but the top 3 players, as you pointed out, of Gimme opponent, Tommy with these big plays, like the most important ones are actually on like Medic, Sniper, and Heavy. Like this is where he got quantitatively, and this was also qualitatively the most beneficial for his team. And then the 2 combo players just taking all the ground and denying everything. Yeah, this is definitely what you can see. Even if they don't get any frags, they would have still won that. Like you can see also the Medics also like. Oh no, they actually both got really low. That's because of the pause. Never mind the heating percentage. But yeah, like as you were saying, on Steel, it didn't really matter that much. It matters more what frags. You need one important frag instead of maybe 5 unimportant ones. Mm-hmm. But yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Tommy there, he got a lot of frags, but he got 4 med picks. That was more than anyone else in the server. That's actually 4 out of the 6 deaths from Zamperoni was from the Spy. And a cheeky shout out to Barrett there, who, the fact that there was a pause and the fact that he timed out, 48 damage per minute is it doesn't look good for the logs, but bless him. It was the fact that there was a pause and and
now they will scream Barrett worst engineer of the season, and even though he's
not going to care, he is in the grand final, which will be casted next Monday. So Domaytoe, have you got any shout outs before we sign off?
Shout outs. I want to shout out TC still. They did pretty well. I'm really happy about TC to all the spy mains in this entire community. Very happy to have your main spy correct priorities set in life. Anyway, CeeJaey, big shout outs to you. Also, locks don't matter. And yeah, I was really happy to cast again. I'm you were a bit off in the casting in the end, but I'm really happy to have you back here because it's always a really big pleasure. Also, big shout out to Wiet during the production as always, and to the viewers.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for casting. It's been a pleasure, obviously, to Wiethoofd in the background. This has been KritzKast. This was the lower bracket final of UGC Platinum. Gimme opponent beating TC Frosties 2-0, booking their place in the final on Monday. They will come up against Failure Esports. Maps will be decided and discussed and posted about soon.
Also, shout out to Mezzo.
Mezzo. Shout out to Mezzo there. But yes, next caster games, guys. We have ETF2L on Sunday. Hopefully we have casters for that. We have Tourette's Chess Club versus Envision, as well as Strong Opinions versus SCCK. One of those games will hopefully be casted on this channel with some casters. And then on Monday we have the UGC Grand Final, Platinum of Europe. We will see Failure Esports versus Envision. Hopefully more ETF2L after that, and maybe even a second round of the Grand Final. That is, if Gimme opponent win against Failure Esports, we'll be going to a round reset, a bracket reset, and seeing another Grand Final on Thursday. But we'll see. Follow us on Twitter, KritzKast, to find out updates, as well as to check out the Patreon as well, to support the production and casters of KritzKast, to help us deliver more stuff to you. But thank you for watching, guys. Hope you've enjoyed the game, and we'll see you next time.